So hello everyone, this is part 88 of our playlist Full Stack Python. Okay, so this is the lecture 88. Okay, so in this video we are learning about network programming, and this is the second lecture of network programming, right? And this is part 88 of this playlist, right? So this is training course, as we know. So this is what training course. Here we will not skip anything. We are learning network programming also. We will learn backend also. Okay, but in detail we will discuss. Okay, whatever we will discuss in detail, we will discuss each and everything. All right, this playlist is the purpose of this playlist is to, like, you will understand, you will learn from these lectures, and you can get a job, right? You can get a job. So once you complete, if you follow these lectures from day one to here, right, so you would be able to answer each and every questions of interview. Okay, because I'm covering each and every topic so that you can easily face any kind of interview. If you are saying full stack Python developer, so you are able to give answer to each and every question, whether it is theoretical question or programming question or logical question, right? So follow this lectures consistently. Okay, you have to show me your consistency. If you are not consistent person, then definitely this playlist is not for you. Okay, so you have to become what? Consistent, right? So see, networking program can be connection oriented and connectionless. If it is connection oriented, means this is TCP protocol will follow, and if it is connectionless, then they will follow UDP protocols. In connection oriented communication, client program connects to server. The connection oriented communication means client will connect to the server. Client will connect to the server, right? And server program should accept the connection of client. So this should accept connection of client. In connection oriented implementation, there are two program. One is client and one is server. So we have program here also and here also. Client and server. We have client and server. Client and server is nothing but client program and server program. The connection oriented implementation is done using TCP sockets. If it is connection oriented, means TCP. If it is connection less, then UDP socket. In connection-less communication, sender program send message to receiver by writing information, or we can say packets with network. Connection-less implementation is done using UDP socket. UDP full form is User Datagram Protocol. Okay. For developing networking applications, Python provide a built-in module called socket. Python have built-in module called socket in order to implement network program, right? Okay, so here we have socket class as well as socket method. Okay, create a new socket using the given address family, socket type, and protocol number. The address family should be like AF underscore INET, the default. All right, so you can read these things. All right, see here. So sock underscore stream. This is what TCP, connection oriented, and sock underscore DG DG okay, DGRAM, whatever you want to call that, you can call. Okay, this is what UDP connection. UDP connection, user datagram protocol connection. Okay, so your server should accept the client. So we have this socket.accept. The accept a connection. The socket must be bound to an address and listening for connections. The return value is a pair of what? Connection and address. All right, so it will return a pair value which is connection and address, where connection is a new socket object unable to sender and receiver data on the connection, and address is the address bound to the socket on the other end of the connection. Right, so see here we have then bind method. We have bind the socket to address. It binds socket with address. The socket must not already be bounded. The socket must not already be bounded. Okay, socket close. Mark the socket closed. Okay, socket.connect. Connect to the remote socket at the address. Then we have socket.receive method. Receive data from the socket. The return value is byte object representing the data data received. Right. So don't think like we will not write the program. This is not only theory. We will also write the program. Once we complete this theory, we will also write the program in this lecture. So don't bother about it. Right. Then we have send method. All right. Send data to the socket. The socket must connect it to a remote socket. Then we have socket.listen. Okay. Enable a server to accept the connection. All right. So we have two programs. One is server program. Then we have client program. All right. So we will write the server as well as client program. Okay, so let me open ideally. Okay, so how many files we require? Two files. One is for writing server program. Okay, so this see, okay, it is not 87. This is not 88, right? So, okay, so I will save it for 88. So name of the file 88 dot c1. 88 and c1. C1 means client one. So here we will write client program, and we will take another file for writing this program, server program. Right? We will save it. So this one is server one, right? So we will write client program as well as server. Okay, so we will write the server program as well as client program. Okay, so first we will write the server program. So whenever you will write networking programming, whenever you will write program related to network, definitely you will import one module, which is socket. Socket module you will import, right? Then what I will write? I will write socket method. And this socket method in available socket class. Socket.socket. Okay, so we will create object of socket as equals to, right? So S is what? Object of which class? Socket class, right? Then what we will do? We will bind the address. Like we will bind the address and what? Host port number, right? We will bind the address and port. So what is our IP address? So because we are working in local system, so what is the host? What is the host name? Local host. And what is the port number? The port number is 50. Okay, so we should use the unique port number, which is free to use. It is not like already used by some server like SQL server or other some server. Otherwise, confliction will come if you will write another server port number. So your port number should be unique, right? And this bind we can call with the help of which object? Socket object. So s dot bind. After that, what we will write? We will write how many how many how many requests or connection server can accept. I'm writing here 5 connection server can accept. Okay, so this is also available in socket class. So that's why I'm writing here s.listen. How many connection? 5 connections. Okay, once it connected to the server, so display the message server is running. Server is running, right? And we can say accept. And this is also available. We will call this socket s.accept, right? If it is accept means we will print connection connection established connection established. Okay, so this is our server program, and now we will write program for client. Okay, so in order to write network programming, we will import which module? Socket module. Now what we will write? We will create socket object. So we will write socket class and socket method, socket, right? And we will create the object like s equals to. Now what we will do? We will connect this client to the server. So we will use connect method, and we will call this connect method with the help of s dot, right? And we will write here host name. What is our host name? So it is local host. And what is the port number? 50 port. What's the name? Okay, both local host and port number 50. So it will bind local host port number. Okay, and it will bind the port number and host address. Right. So what we have to do, we will run the server first. What we will do, we will run the server, right? Then we will run the client program. Is to simultaneously we have to execute server program as well as client program. It is like chatting between server and program. So we need two windows for one is for client and one for is server. So I will open ideally, not ideally, but CMD. Okay. So this one CMD is for what? Client, and another CMD for server. Okay, this one is power swing. Okay, so you will start from here. So what happened? You have to mention the current working directory address. But I don't know how we can. If you don't know how we can change the address, like change the path of files. So what you can do instead of opening from here command prompt, what you can do, you can go to the folder. Like, what is your folder? What is your directory name? Folder name. So this is our folder. So here I will write. So on top I will write CMD on. So it will automatically detect the path. So which drive it has? C drive, full stack Python part 88. This is our current working directory. And here I will open another. So if I open another, so same, I will again open from here only CMD. So we have two command prompt. One is for server and one is for yes, client, right? So first we will run server program. So what we will write, what's the program name, server program name? What is the server program name? 88 s1.py, 88 s1.py and 88 c1.py. This is the client code. So here I will write Python 88 s.py. S or s1? S1. It is what? S1. File name is S1. Alright. So let's see. So what's the error? S.bind localhost socket bind task exactly to our bind. Okay, let's check what's the error. So we have a syntax error. We have to give here double brackets. And here also we have to give double brackets. Right. Now save the program. And again I will try to run the code. Okay. Save this. Okay. So this one is for server. So I will write here Python 88 s1.py. Okay, so what is it is showing server is running. Now I will send the request using client. Send the request using client means I will run the client program. So I will write Python 88 client program is c1.py. Okay, so means client send the request. So that's why the server is showing the message connection established. Connection is established. Right. So this is how we can communicate. Like server can communicate with client and client can communicate with server. So we will see more program also. like how they will actually communicate to each other. Okay, so we will see this code. Okay, so now we will write the code in order to communicate between server and client. Like server will send the message as well as client will also send the message to the server. Okay, so we will write the code. So here is our file. Here we will write code for the server and here we will write code for client. So we will write client code as well as server code. Okay, so we will write the code and we will understand each and every time. Okay, so it would be easy for you. So I will write the comments before writing any code, right? So here we will import the socket module. I will import what? Socket module for networking, right? Socket module we will import for the net, right? So how we can import? Just write here import and socket, right? Now what we will do? Okay, so create a socket object for the server. We will create the object for the servers. Which object? Socket object. So how we will create the socket object? We will write here. Okay, we will write here socket.socket, right? And we will write the object name like SS. Okay, SS means server socket, right? Now what we will do? Bind the socket to local host at port 40, right? Okay, so what we will do? We will call the bind function with the help of SS socket. We will write here bind, right? And here in the bind method, we will pass two things. One is host and second one is port number. So our host is what? Local host. Okay, host address is what? Local host. If it is not local host, you can mention IP address, right? So we are working on local host, so that's why I'm writing here local host. Okay, my port number is 40. Port number is 40. You should make sure like port is not reserved by any other server. Okay, if it is reserved, then you cannot communicate in the network, right? Now what we will do? Now we will write here listen method we will call. So listen for incoming connections with a backlog of 10 connections. Okay, right? So we are allowing this server so that they can the 10 clients can accept. That means what I'm trying to say, 10 clients can access this server. It can listen 10 clients. It can listen how many clients? 10 clients. Like ss dot listen. Ss dot listen, and here I will mention 10. Means it can accept 10 clients, right? Now what I will write? I will write here print a message to indicate that the server is running, right? So we will write the message to indicate whether the server is running or not. So we will write here print message server is running, right? We will write the message like server is running. Okay, now what we will do? We will write here accept incoming connection, incoming connections. Okay, accept incoming connections for clients. Okay, whatever client sending request to the server, so we will accept the incoming connections. We will write here while loop true, right? And what we have to do? Accept a connection and get the client socket and address. Okay, accept a connection and get the client socket and address, right? So how we will do this? How we will do this? We will write here C is for client and address. So we will get client and address. Okay, so we will write here ss.accept, right? Print, we will write here print. Okay, right? We will write here f connected to address, right? Hope you are understanding this. right? Okay, so now what we will write? Now we will write, okay, inside the loop we will write, okay, now what we will write? Receive message from the client and send a response. Send a response, right? What we will write here? Yes, so what we will write here? We will write here data equals to c dot receive. Okay, 1024, right? Okay, so we will not write this. What we will do instead of this? Instead of this, we will write while true. Okay, we'll write while loop, and we will write in try block. We will write try block. If exception will come, so it will handle the exception. Okay, so I'm writing here receive data from the client, right, up to 1024. Up to 1024 bytes we will receive to the clients. So how, like, we have to write here c dot receive. C means client dot receive how much? Okay, how much data? 1024 bytes. Okay, and we will receive the message, we will store into data variable, right? Now what we will write? If, right, if no data is received, if no data is received, break out of the, if no data is received, then break out from the loop. So how we will check this condition? If not data, if data is not there, then break out from the loop. Understood? Right. Now what we will write? We will write here decode the received data. Okay, because data travels in the network in the form of bytes, but we read the data in the form of text. Okay, so what we will do? Okay, decode the data. That's why we are decoding the data, means convert the data in the correct form, bytes to text, right? So decode the received data from bytes to string and print it, right? So how we will do this? We will write here print data dot decode. Print data dot decodes. We will use decode function. Decode method we will use, right? After that, what we will write? We will write here send a response. Okay, if you receive the message, then we will send the response back to the client, like server received your data. So what we will say? We will write here c dot send. We are sending to client, so that's why we are using client object c dot send. And what you have to send? Hello client. Okay, and we will encode this, means we will convert into byte. Otherwise, it will not travel into in what? It will not travel in network. So this is what message client, right? Now what we will write? Okay, now we will write accept block. We have to come out from this try block, and we write the accept block in order to handle the exception. We'll write accept block, and we will write here exception as e, right? And what we are doing? Handle any exceptions that occur. Okay, whatever exception will occur, we will handle the exception. We will write the error message like print Using f string, we will write the message f error, and we will display the error. Right, this is the error object. Great, right? Then after that, we will close the client connection. Okay, we'll close the client connection. How we will close? We will write client object dot close. Right. After that, we'll come out from the loop. Right, and we will write here close. We'll write here close the server socket. How we will close the server socket? We will write here ss.close. Right, so this is our program. Okay, so we imported the socket, we created the object of server. Okay, then after we bind the local host and port number using bind method. Okay, listen for incoming connection with backlog of how many connections? 10 connections. Okay, so we are writing here listen 10, right? They liked it, so I write it comment also so that you can understand the code, right? Okay, now what we will write? We will write the client program. So here I will write the client program. So we completed server, we created our server. Now we will create our client, right? So I will write the command first so that you can easily understand what's the mean of each line. So import the socket module for networking. So how we can import the module for networking? Import socket, right? That's all. And create a socket object for the client. What? Create a socket object for client. How we will create? We will write here as equals to socket.socket, right? And then what we have to connect to the server running on local host and port number. So what we have to write? Connection connect to the server running on local host and port 40. Okay, what is the server port number? 40. Okay, so s dot connect. Okay, what we have to connect? Local. We will write here. We will write here local host. What is the port number? 40. Okay, port number is 40. Now send what? Send messages to the server and receive responses. Okay, so I will write here while true, right? While true, try. Okay, so here I will write in the exception block what I will write? Try block. I will write prompt the user to enter a message to send. Okay, so it will show the message. It will write the prompt for client like please enter any message. So how we can take input with the help of input function, and we will write the string enter message to send, and we will store this message into what? Message, right? Now what we will do? We will write here send the message to the server. Send the message to the server. So I will write here as dot send message dot encode, right? And what we will write? And what we will write? Receive a response from the server. Okay, but your response what? Up to what? Up to 1024 bytes, right? So we will write here response equals to s dot receive 1024, right? And here I will write decode the received response from by school string and print it, right? We will write here print We'll write here print and we will write response dot decode, right? And now we will handle the exception. Except. Okay, so we will write this block outside the try. Exception as E, right? And what we have to do? Handle any exceptions that occur. So what I will write here? Print as a string, right? Error and E, right? Break. Now what I will do? I will close the connection as close the client. Okay. So I will write here as dot close, right? So this is our program. So we have server program as well as client program. Okay, I will attach this file so that you can practice this code. So this is a client. This one is for server. We created server here and we created client here. This one is client. Okay, what is the file name? 88 c1.py. So this is what client file and this is what 88 s1.py. So this is a server file. So in order to run two files, so we have to open two prompt. We will open two command prompt. One is for server and another for what? Another for client, because client and server in the same machine on localhost only. That's why we have to open in this window only. So if you want to open on the current location, so you will write the address. So here is our client program and server program. So I will write here cmd. So one cmd is opened. Now I will write again cmd. Okay, so another open. So one is for client and one is for user. So first I will run the server. So how I will run the server? I will write here python 88 s1.py. So we are getting some error. Okay, so what's the error? ss.bind. Okay, socket.bind takes exactly one argument to. Okay, so what we missed? We missed the bracket here. So we have to write the bracket properly. See, here we will write because it accepts only one argument. So this is now our one argument as a tuple, right? So let's try now once again. Okay, so message server is running. Okay, message server is running. Okay, now what we will run? We will run the client. So we will write here python 88. What is our program name? 88 c1.py. Okay, so client is running. What is the message is coming? Connected. Okay, so this client is connected with server. If this client is connected with server, okay, so means we can send the message, like server and client can communicate to each other. So I will write here message like hello server, I am client. Okay, so hello server, I am client. Okay, when error and error. Okay, so that is not like this. Okay, let me write message again. Hello server. Hello server and service connection. Okay, so let me run again the code. So let's run again. Okay, let me open again CMD. Okay, so I will write here Python 88 s1.vt. Right, message server is running. Now I will establish the connection by running the client program. I will connect this client to the server. So I will run the client program Python c1 88 c1.py. Okay, so message server is running connected to this client. It is connected to the client. So I will write here hi. So hi and when error and operations was attempt on something that is not socket. Okay, I think there is some error. There is some error. There is some error in server code. So we have to resolve the error. Okay, so we have to resolve the error. Okay, so let's check if I think there is a mistake in code. So we will verify our code. I think there is a mistake here. We have to maintain the indentation. Okay. Because I close this inside what? Inside what? Inside the while loop. So we have to close it outside the while loop. Right? So save it and now try to run the code. Okay, so first we will write the server. We will run the server Python 88 s1.py. Server is running. Now we will run the client Python 88 c1.py. Okay, so connected. Okay, server is connected with client. So now client can send the message to the server. Hi server. Okay, this is client. Okay, program is working fine. Okay. All of you please be consistent here on this full, okay, full stack Python course. Not only course but training course. Right. So it is working very nicely. Here you can practice the code. I will provide this presentation. I will provide all the presentations. Okay, and you can practice. So for example, see this program. Here we have client and we have server. Okay, so this server is for mathematical expression. Client will send some mathematical expression and server will resolve that expression and return the response as a result. Okay, this is expression 10 plus 20 is expression. So server will evaluate this expression, right? And then it will give response to the client. Okay, so here is our program. Okay, so what we did here. Okay, try to understand. So we import the socket modules. Okay, this is what client. Sorry, this is server. We are creating server math server we are creating. So we created the object socket object and we are binding with what localhost and what port number, and it can listen up to like it can listen like 5 connections, and we will print the message server is running. So when client will connect, this message will display, right? And while true accept. Okay, so t0, it will take t0 index, right? And it can receive 2048 bytes data. Okay, we will decode the data, encoded data we will decode and we will store in the expression, and we are using eval function. So whatever expression client will give, so eval method automatically evaluates the expression and store the result into what? Re variable. And what we will do, we will write f string result is res, and we store in the result, and we will send back to the client result dot encode. Okay, we are encoding it. Okay, math client, we will create the math client. We will import the socket. We will create the socket object. Okay, now we will connect. Okay, in order to connect, we will use connect method. Okay, from client side, in client side we will use connect method and localhost and 40 expression. Okay, input enter expression. So client will enter the expression and we will send this expression to the server with the help of s.send. Okay, s.send, and we will encode the expression, and then whatever server will send, whatever the expression server will send. Okay, server is also sending some, so server will send, so client will receive, and we will decode, store in B, and we will decode the result and display to the client. Okay, so here is the result. So what is, for example, we started the server. Okay, we started the server, right? And we started the client. So client enter the expression 1 plus 2. So result is 3. Again, client send some expression and server evaluate the expression and give the result. Okay, because which function we are using? Eval method we are using, right? So eval method takes the expression and evaluate and return what result? Return the result, right? Okay. Connectionless implementation using UDP, user datagram protocol. Okay, connectionless implementation using UDP. So UDP is what? User datagram protocol. Okay. So default implementation of socket is TCP. TCP is connection oriented, right? So default implementation of socket is what? TCP. To change the socket type, socket constructor provide one parameter type. Okay. So what is the parameter type? So here is the syntax. socket.socket and type equals to socket underscore dgrm, means socket datagram, right? So this is how you can change the socket type. Okay, like you can use, you can convert it into what, TCP to UDP with the help of change the argument of the constructor. All right. So in the next lecture, we will discuss more about network programming. So thanks for giving your valuable time, everyone. Thanks for giving your valuable time and keep practice. Okay. I will provide the notes. Okay. You need to just practice and keep practice, everyone, and try to solve maximum problems. Okay. And try to, okay, because this is 88 lecture. So if you have some time, so you can revise the previous lecture as well. Okay. It will definitely help you, because when you revise the concept, so your concept will become more stronger than before. Right. So revision is also important, everyone. Right. So in your free time, you can revise. All right. And while revision, okay, while learning the code, do not forget to smile. Right. Whatever you are learning, learn with full energy, full concentration, and a full interest. Okay, there's your interest to matter. Okay, if you're getting interest, then put your energy, put your maximum energy, right? If you have interest, then put your all energies to particular subject in order to become the master of that subject, right? All right, thank you everyone for giving your time. Bye everyone.